welcome to another interview. I've got another amazing, interesting, absolutely incredible person.
Where?
It is Mark the Pondering Man from YouTube. Please
Hello, everyone.
introduce yourself and tell us. Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Okay, Mark, known as the Pondering Man on YouTube. I used to be called the Angry Man. I've been called many other things in my time. So yeah, I think everybody sort of knows me for a few videos I've done quite recently. We're not going to go on to them today, but yeah.
We're not
So
talking about your OnlyFans page, Mark. We'll stay away from your OnlyFans page. Yeah.
so yeah.
I think we know what videos you're talking about. We'll stay away from them, and we don't want to talk about that person because we're in a good mood, and yeah. So,
Everything's good today. Yeah.
yeah. There's loads of comments in the chat. I'll probably skip down to the bottom. So
I
I've
can't.
seen all the.
Okay. I can't see the comments. So
Yeah. Okay, now. Yeah. Well, everyone is in the chat. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry. Well, yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mark, because we probably know
okay.
the least about you, or I know the least about you. I know you.
The
I know you live
least
in
about me.
Scotland.
Yeah, I live in Scotland, but as you can tell from the accent, I'm not Scottish. London born. Um, from there until I was 30 something. And then I moved to East Anglia, lived just outside Cambridge until a couple of years ago when I moved up here to Glasgow. So yeah, been here just under 2 years. Some days it's good, some days not so good. The weather is awful most of the time, but I knew that when I moved here. Yeah, so I'm 52, so not quite as old as someone who tells us he's 53, but 52 is getting on a bit. And I don't know, what else do you want to know?
Well, let's go back to school then. You said, what part of London did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Westminster, but I didn't live in Westminster. I lived in northwest London. So if anyone's from northwest London, it's in the borough of Harrow, and I lived in a place called Queensbury. It's on the Jubilee line, if that makes it any easier. So that's where I
Um,
spent until I was 16. I was there.
what was school like for you then?
What school? Well, middle school. I loved middle school. That was great. It was literally 2 minutes down the road from where I lived, and I hated high school. If that makes any sense.
Well, all your schools, middle school, high school, whatever, college, they don't
Oh,
make
okay.
sense to me.
So
I don't
uh,
understand the British.
middle school is up to the age of 12, or it was when I went to school. So anything up to the age of 12, loved it. And then your sort of your senior years, 12 to 16, because we didn't have a sixth form, hated it.
Okay. And what did you do after school then? What was your first job or what?
Oh, well, my first job was paper round when I was 12. You had to be 13, but I was sneakily got in. If you're talking about first proper job, I did a Saturday job when I was 15, working in a DIY store, pay less. And then when I went to college, I also carried on working at the DIY store. So that was sort of like college and my first sort of proper job.
Okay. And what was it? Did you go to university or did you go working?
No, I didn't go to university. It was a bit of a disaster on that one. Um, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and part of me was going to become an electrician, part of me was going to become a journalist, and part of me wanted to become an actor because I used to do drama, you see. So taking all those things into account, I ended up becoming working for bookmakers. Yeah, it makes
Okay.
sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they totally go together.
Yeah, it's. I won't go to the ins and outs of why that was. It's just the way it worked out. You never know why things work out, do you? But so my first proper job was working for William Hill.
What was that like then? What year would that be?
Oh, that would have been 89, I think. Um, oh, I loved it because I had a big interest in horse racing going back to when I was about 6 with my granddad. You know, watching it on the telly and all that stuff. So I had a very good knowledge of horse racing and betting and all that stuff. So and I was very good at maths. So I was a good fit for the job really, and it was sort of like the golden age of betting. They're not like they are today. There was no machines, no TVs, no Sundays, no evening racing. So it's basically 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock. People smoked in there and all that stuff. But it was good. It was a good group of people. Yeah, so I started off as a cashier and worked my way up to a manager.
Okay. And what about the dark side of the gambling then that time? Would there have been a dark side to it?
Oh, there's always a dark side to gambling. Yes. Yeah, there is. I had my problems with gambling over the years as well, so I don't gamble anymore. Grand National maybe £5 or something, but yeah, yeah, there is a dark side, but that didn't when I was working there in them days, it didn't really affect me too much. I didn't have a problem with it, and I was lucky. I was in a shop where it wasn't too bad. Of course, there were. Yeah, there's all. Unfortunately, when it comes to drink as well, you work in a pub, you're going to see a bad side of that. But yeah, but no, it was all right. I mean, we, it was. You worked hard and you played hard back in them days. So as soon as you finished in the bookies, after time, you went straight down the pub.
Yeah.
And
Comment here from
yeah,
Scott.
go on. I
Nice
can
to
see
see you,
him now.
Mark.
Yeah.
And
Hello, Scott.
yeah,
How you
Scott's
doing?
really good.
Yeah.
He always promotes smaller channels, and he's always there to help people.
Oh, Scott's
One of the
brilliant.
best.
Yeah, I mean, he's said it a few times how we sort of became YouTube friends and how and all that. So I won't go into that story again because it always makes me blush. But yeah, Scott's great, and he promotes any channel that comes on and comments on him or anything like that. He's always there promoting it, and it's good to see him with Dean the other day, and he's promoting Dean again, wasn't he, in the shed and stuff. So now Scott's a good bloke actually. I have a lot of time for Scott and his wife
Yeah, he is
Wanda.
really good.
Mm.
Right, Bramhill, how you doing? Let's go on to music then. What kind of music you into?
Oh, I do like my music, but I'm quite stubborn, as in I don't listen to modern music. Um,
So you're
I have a
more of a Beethoven classical music, are you?
oh, I don't mind a bit of Mozart, but no. So anything from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s up to a point, I quite like. Um, Anything sort of after the year 2000, I've sort of drawn a line under that. I think I might have downloaded like 4 albums since 2002 or something, and one of them was quite recent. It was a Tears for Fears bought a new album out after years. The Tipping Point. So that was it. But yeah, so I like the only music I don't like is rap and sort of grime stuff like that. And I know this is going to upset people like Scott. I'm not a big sort of Foo Fighters sort of fan. That type of music as well is not really my cup of tea either, if I'm being honest.
Okay, what would have been your first, we say, record, CD,
Oh, I know
album
that one.
you would have bought?
Yes. The first single I bought was Madness, Our House, Woolworths. I think it was like 79 pence a vinyl back in what, 81, 82. And the first album I bought, I think that was on it, was like the Now One, whatever it was, compilation album, what, 82, 80, something like that. It was either Now One or the other one. I can't remember which one it was, but it was like the first sort of compilation on vinyl, and that would have been about 4.99 out of Walrus again. So,
Okay.
so all the stuff from the 80s that was big. That um, apart from Culture Club and Duran Duran, I wasn't a big fan of theirs. But all the stuff from sort of 80s and late 70s, I would have been listening to around then. Big Tears for Fears fan back in the day. Simple Minds, early U2, Spandau Ballet, even some of their early stuff. Level 42, huge Level 42 fan. Stuff like that.
Would you have a favorite then? If you could see one of them bands again at their prime for a concert, who would it be?
Oh, I'd have to give you two answers. One for sentimental reasons would be Simple Minds,
Okay.
and and the other one would probably be level 42 in their prime.
Okay.
Go back, yeah.
But sure, we'd all love to go back to our prime, but that's never going to happen.
No.
What about traveling then? Any traveling you've done?
Yeah, I've been quite lucky on traveling. As a kid, because my mum's German, so as a kid we used to go to Germany quite a lot for holidays. So did a lot of that, and Holland and places like that as a kid. And then France with the school for day trips and things. And then as soon as I was 18, I went straight off to Germany to the Oktoberfest, Munich, and that became a pilgrimage every year for about 5 years. So I did a lot of Europe, and I did Portugal and places. I lived in Portugal for a little while, 6 months back in the day. Italy, where else I've been? Austria, most of Europe. I haven't been to Spain, funny enough. I've not been to Spain, which is quite a big European country. And then when I got a bit older and got a bit of money, I went to America. I've been very lucky to go to America quite a few times. Hong Kong, Macau. So there's
nice bit
still
of
some
traveling.
places. Yeah, still some places I want to go if I can get myself fit and healthy again.
Have you lived abroad for any extended period, not on holidays, to say?
Yes, I spent 6 months living in Portugal. The beginning of the 2000s.
What was that like?
Loved it. Went there for a holiday with my girlfriend at the time. She was Portuguese, but she was living in Britain, and didn't come back for 6 months. So it was
So just a
great.
little.
Yeah, it was
Well,
great.
were you working then? Did you go off? Did you have a job and did
I
you
did have a
in
job,
Britain and go on
and
holiday?
I had a job, and then I didn't have a job because I didn't come back for 6 months. It was great. I started helping out selling gas on a little scooter for a friend of her family's, which is quite funny. Little scooter with gas bottles on the back, going around Faro and stuff like that, Villamora area and the Algarve. Yeah, I was quite adventurous back then.
You must be good at languages then. Did you speak the?
No, I'm
You speak?
rubbish. I'm rubbish. It was all English people you were selling the gas to because they all had holiday homes. I used to speak a little bit law, but I think it's like Bon dia, what's the other one? Obrigada, and there's a couple of other words I can say in Portuguese. And my German is awful. My German is disgusting considering my mum's German because they never taught it to me. My dad wouldn't allow it. I can order food, count to 20, and ask the way to the train station, and that's about it.
Well, it's not
So
too bad. What was because you said about the beer fest, the music festivals? What were they like? Because they must have been before it
oh,
became, we
well,
say
it's before.
popular. We say,
Well, it was very popular, but not so much with British people, which was one of the
yeah,
reasons
with
it
tourists.
appealed. Yeah, yeah. Well, it was. There were tourists. Don't get me wrong, but it was mostly backpackers that were going around Europe at the time. So you had a lot of South Africans, Americans, Canadians. I sat with the Canadian Olympic skiing team one evening, and we were drinking away. And my girlfriend at the time was Canadian anyway, so that was good fun. But yeah, not too many British people. Oh, it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. I mean, I went back 5 years on the trot. They know how to drink and they know how to do an event. It's not like a beer festival you have here, um, but you need to experience it when you're young, especially now,
All right.
because especially now because it's just so crowded now. But it was fun.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wake up sometimes in strange places.
Come on, you got to you put it out there, there, Mark. Where did you
Okay,
wake up?
I woke up on a bench by a tram once, and I woke up in somebody's house on a swinging chair another time. I never found out
Okay.
whose house that was. To this day, I don't know whose house that was. I got my coat, found that, put my shoes on, went out, trying to work out where I was. Remember, this is way before mobile phones and Googling anything. And
Yeah.
found the U-Bahn and got myself back to my hotel. To this day, I have
Ah,
no
pretty good.
idea whose house that was. So that was fun.
We've been all in different weird situations, I suppose. I think I woke up in a boat to Wales once, so I won't mention that one. Um, So, where's the favorite country you visited then? If you could live somewhere, then you said you went to
Oh,
America.
yes, it's a difficult one because I have favourite things for different reasons. But if you had to pin me to one place I could live until I dis- drop down dead, it would probably be Santa Barbara in California.
And
It's absolutely beautiful there. I've been very fortunate to go, and you've got the mountains that side, you've got the Pacific Ocean behind you, and it's lovely. It's great for beer, it's great for wine, it's great for food. You need a few pounds to live there because it's not cheap,
no,
but it's absolutely gorgeous.
and
It's not
if
overly
it wasn't cheap then, it's certainly not cheap now
no, it wasn't
with
cheap.
the
No,
prices
when
of
I went,
everything.
I only went about I think 4 years ago, and it wasn't cheap then. So, but yeah, I think if you pin
Yeah.
me to one, it'd probably be there.
Okay. Let's go on TV then, because you mentioned my music. What kind of TV do you watch? Or
Okay, well, I
I don't
don't
know.
watch
When
a
I
lot
say
of.
TV, so I go streaming
Mm.
services
Okay, all right. If you're talking
online.
streaming and stuff, yeah, because I've got a TV just there, you won't be able to see it, and I haven't turned it on for 9 months. Um, I just don't watch mainstream TV anymore, so I don't have a license. But I do watch a lot of stuff that's downloading and stuff. So watching Obi Kenobi at the moment, um, like my Star Wars shows, like my sci-fi. So I watch Obi Kenobi. I also like thrillers, detective shows. So you know when you get a brain freeze, and I also watch a lot of sort of like fantasy sci-fi, like things like the Flash, Arrowverse type stuff. It's sort of what I call my popcorn throwaway TV. That stuff. I like good thrillers. So the Orzaks was good. I enjoyed watching that. That's just finished. Um, Not a lot that's made in the UK, unfortunately. It's mostly American-based stuff. There's the occasional BBC drama or something that I can download if it's like a free part, or that's quite good. Most of the stuff I
Okay.
watch that's UK is old repeats, like old comedy stores. If you're wondering what that is, that's my train. I live at train line just to the back of my garden, so that's the Cathcart line going into Central Station.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard it before in the background of your videos.
Yeah, it's always annoying because as soon as put the camera on, I can guarantee a train will come in 5 minutes. So if you live near me and you want to catch a train, just wait till I do a video and then nip down to the station.
You know, trades on time. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, going back to your TV. So I mean, I was a great Fools and Horses fan back in the day. Minder, Sweeney. You got to be of a certain age to know a lot of these. A lot of 80s sitcoms like 2.4 Children, Ever Decreasing Circles. Inspector
Yeah.
Morse. I don't know if you've heard of that. Inspector Morse. I used to love
Yeah,
Inspector
it's
Morse.
on repeat. If you turn on
Yeah,
some English channel, it's bound to be on repeat somewhere.
yeah,
Inspector Morse.
and Lewis, the spin-off Lewis and stuff like that. Yeah, and the Irish one, Ballycusane. I used to enjoy watching that back in the day.
Oh God, God,
Yeah,
I'm down your taste now, man.
I'm showing my age as well. It was good. No, the early episodes when it first started were quite good. And then
Yeah.
surreal humor. I like surreal humor, so sort of satire comedy shows I like as well.
Okay. What? So back in the day, it would have been the same kind of things you would have been watching. So only Fools and Horses, all them kind of
Yeah,
classic
all the classic
sitcom
stuff
kind.
of yeah, Top of the Pops. Top of the Pops was a mainstay. Um, Big Neighbours
I
fan when
wouldn't
it
have,
first came out.
I wouldn't thought you would have been a kind of a top of pops person.
Yeah,
Thought that would
I
be
wasn't.
too mainstream.
No, I quite like Top of the Pops. Not everything on it, but it was nice to see. There was always some band on there that you would watch. It was very popular. Top of the Pops. I'm talking sort of like 82 to about 90. I used to watch Top of the Pops. So I was like 12 to like 20. So I watched that. Neighbours. I just mentioned Neighbours. Just finished filming for the last time, I think, in Australia. So I loved
Yeah.
Neighbours when it very first came out. It was something different. We hadn't seen the likes of that in the UK, so that was great. Um, so yeah, stuff like that. What else? I don't know. There's always things I can't think of now, but I'm sure I'll come back as soon as we finish this interview. I think, oh yeah, I should have mentioned that. You know. So.
Yeah. I think we need to get you a Google Chrome or something, or a smart TV, so you can
Smart
use your
TV.
TV.
My TV is a smart TV. I think. I think I can get YouTube on it and stuff, but
Don't
TVs are
bother.
dinosaurs. No, don't bother with them. No. It's all rubbish on TV now, isn't it? X
Yeah,
Factor.
but it's. I know myself sometimes. It's just the strain using a phone to watch. I only have a phone. I don't know, maybe you watch yours on a
Oh
tablet or
no, I
something.
don't. No, I don't. I watch it on my PC or on my laptop.
Yeah.
So it's about that big, the screen I watch on.
All right. Always an interesting question. Have you been arrested?
No. Boring answer. No. No.
Have you been nearly arrested?
Yes.
What you do? You were then
A
get in a
couple of
fight?
times. No, I can tell you. Once when I was at school, I smashed a kid over the head with a chair um, because he wound me up to the point of I smashed him over the head with a chair. I wouldn't recommend it, and I wouldn't do it now. And another time, I stepped into people having a fight in a pub, and I stepped in and got glass in my face for the fun of it. And then when the police arrived, they thought they're just trying to arrest everybody because they thought they were all involved. So luckily, the bar staff said, no, he was trying to break it up. So I didn't get arrested.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. It's always when you're in school. It's when you're hitting someone with a chair is not to get caught. I always found that
no,
brilliant when you're hitting
no,
people over chairs in
yeah,
school. It's never to get
no.
caught.
Don't do that, children, anyone watching. If there's any children, I don't think there's any children watching,
Yeah,
but
don't get caught. Mark the pondering man says, don't get caught
no,
hitting
don't do
people
it.
with
Don't
chairs.
do it. I'll be honest with you, I don't particularly enjoy violence anymore. So I know people can wind me up, but it's just not worth the bother, is it? You just want to go out and have a nice time. Um, so you see a lot of violence in Scotland, in Glasgow, on the weekends.
So what's Vanessa? Oh, thanks Vanessa for joining us. So
Okay,
I wrestled with a co-worker in Alaska somewhere next week for
catching salmon. Well, that's quite a cool way,
close.
isn't it? So was that like poaching?
Well, they do have quite strict laws on hunting, don't they, in Alaska? I think, don't they?
I'd imagine so. Poaching, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you ate it. Hope
Well,
you
they
got to eat it.
probably turn it back in. The whoever arrested her were probably.
Scott, Scott, what do you say? Nobody gets arrested for hitting someone with a chair in wrestling. I'm going to upset Scott now. I can't stand wrestling. Sorry, Scott. I really don't stand it. Um, the English wrestling back in the old days, I quite enjoyed Big Daddy and all that. You won't remember that, Thomas. But the American stuff, I've never been into it. Scott's going to unsubscribe. I'm so
No.
sorry, Scott. Um, but
Well, I
yeah,
would
so
never been into it. I would never been into it. Wouldn't mean because I would have only had, we say, the Irish channels up to probably 2010, maybe somewhere around there. You wouldn't have never saw wrestling on it. Probably would have been
no,
on BBC or some of them back in the 80s or 90s.
I think it was ITV or Channel 4 had it back in the
Yeah.
UK. But I couldn't stand it. I really couldn't stand it. But yeah, no, because I don't think they use real chairs, do they? In wrestling, I don't know. Scott can tell me if I'm right or wrong there. But I actually broke the
Or they
chair.
use because Scott's watching, they use super extra strong chairs because it's
Yeah,
so real and not
yeah.
organized.
Well, this was a wooden chair that we had at school, and I actually broke two of the legs. Well, I say I broke them. His neck broke them when I hit him. Shocking.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, this is, or my channel is meant to be about alcohol and drinking and all that. So, your first drink, how old?
Oh, about 9 or 10. I can't remember the exact age. Um, as I said, my mum's German, so my grandparents were German. Germany has a slightly different view on alcohol when it comes to children. They sort of let you try it early to sort of wean you onto it so you don't get all drunk by the time you're 16. So I think my granddad would have given me. They lived in the UK, my grandparents. I think he would have given me a can of Heineken or Skull, or so, it was something like that. It would have been a little can of lager which we would have shared. So
Okay.
that would have been my first drink. If you're talking about drinking a pub, that would have
You can
been
go
when
on
I
to pub.
was, yeah. If you're talking about drinking a pub, I was a bit about 17 and a half, pretty good. I didn't go into a pub till I was about 17 and a half. And that what I can remember, the first drink I actually bought was Castlemaine and lime. No taste. Pint of Castlemaine and lime, and it cost 89p. I can even remember how much it cost.
I doubt you'll even get a packet of peanuts for 89 pence now.
I doubt you
Or
would,
maybe in
no.
Weatherspoons.
But yeah, but nine for first sort of alcohol drink. It'd been about 9 or 10.
Okay, and we say when you went started drinking, what kind of beer would you been into? What was your go-to? If you
Okay, you're talking like when I was going down the pub and stuff, not when I
Yeah,
was
six
starting.
when you're going to the
Yeah,
pub, what was
yeah. Well, when I started, because I was a big fan of Neighbours, so Castlemaine was Australian, so that's why I was drinking Castlemaine and Live. I was a bit of a fad follower, so like American football was big, so I was drinking Michelob with the screw cap tops, anything that was popular. It wasn't until I met a friend who got me onto real ale when I was about 19 and a half, and then I changed my drinking habits. Apart from when I went to Oktoberfest, I would drink real ale, so cask ale like London Pride, Directors. This is all when it was good stuff before it was all bought out by Marston's and people like that. So regional ales of the time. So brown stuff. Some people would
okay?
call it brown stuff.
What would you drink now? What's your go-to at the moment? If
Oh, it changes. When craft beer first, like when BrewDog appeared on the scene, just after then, I got into craft beer in a huge way, and it blew my mind. Loved it. So everything else sort of bit the dust, and I would only drink craft beer. But over the last 18 months, as you can see here, I've got back into my real ales again. So
yeah,
I drink a mixture of craft beer, real ale, and German Weiss beer. But if you had to pin me down on one, if I could only take one beer onto an island, it would probably be German Weiss beer.
okay.
But and I used to
And
like single malt whiskey as well.
what's one beer style that you would completely abolish then?
Oh. Um, Barley wine.
Ask why.
Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Hate the stuff.
That's usually a good
Taste
reason.
smells horrible. Tastes horrible. It's too strong. It's just pointless. Barley wine.
And if you had to drink one beer style for the rest of your life,
I think I just said, didn't I? Probably German Weiss beer. So
okay.
if you don't know what German Weiss beer is, it's like a wheat cloudy lagery
Hmm.
beer, closed banana bready sort of feel. No biscuits, no citra in it. Um, so that style. If you had to give me to one, but I'd say I switch in that. Like I've got some craft beer which I'm going to be drinking on Friday, and then I won't drink any real ale for probably a few days, and I haven't drunk any Weiss beer for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
people usually go in spouts of drinking, say,
yeah,
lagers or IPAs and stouts and move
yeah.
off to something else.
When it gets warmer, I mean, I'll drink a pilsner. If it's really warm and I'm out, I'll drink a pilsner.
Yeah, if it's warmer, I usually go for do I have an imperial stout? Don't
I'll
know
have
why.
stout. I do like stout. I have to be honest. I do like a decent stout. Um, I was a big Beamish drinker back in the 90s. It became very popular over in the UK for a while, and you could get it. And there was a big advertising campaign. So I drank a lot of Beamish. I drink Guinness. I prefer the normal Guinness that you get in Ireland, not this Guinness cold rubbish that we get over here.
Oh, that hasn't been here. That coffee brew
No, I can't get that
stout.
in Scotland either. I want to try that. I've been desperate to try it, and Glasgow doesn't get any of this stuff because we're so far up north. I don't think the drivers can be bothered now with all the petrol price to deliver up here. So I haven't seen it anywhere. But I'm going to get some next month when I'm in Manchester to give
Yeah,
the. I want to
it
try
sounds good.
The Guinness Zero. I want to try the alcohol-free Guinness and the coffee Guinness.
Yeah, Guinness Zero, it's okay. It wouldn't be. The problem I have with it, they sell it in 4 packs.
Yes, yeah. I only want to try one really, but yeah.
I think they know that. That's why they do it. That's why they sell it in 4 packs, because you're gonna have to buy four, and maybe you'll get a taste for it eventually, and you might
Yeah,
get it again. I don't know.
I don't really see the point of alcohol-free beers personally. If I don't want to drink, I don't drink, and if you want something like, I drink a Radler.
Yeah, I suppose if some people, if they don't like maybe having, we say, cokes or oranges, and they want something if they aren't drinking
If,
if they're in a
if
pub.
you drive, yeah, if you're driving, then I can see the point of it. Yeah.
Uh what inspires you?
What inspires me? Oh, that's a good question. Oh dear.
Your
Uh,
brilliant prime minister?
no. Oh, you mean who inspires me rather than
Yeah.
Uh, oh God, no, well, Boris Johnson. No, he wouldn't inspire me to wake up in the morning. Politicians don't inspire me at all. I can't stand any of them. I've yet to see a good one. They're all liars and cheats, as far as I'm concerned. So I
Don't
have
lie to me.
noticed.
You have that poster of Margaret Thatcher in your bedroom. I seen it.
Yeah, I got Margaret Thatcher in my bedroom. That's right. Yeah, don't get me started on Margaret Thatcher. I'll upset BVM because I know he likes Margaret Thatcher. But no, I
Ah, he
don't.
won't be here. He won't watch this rubbish.
Uh, no, I. What inspires me, or who inspires me?
Yeah.
Oh dear. I'll be honest with you, nobody. Just to try and be a better person than I am. To try and stick to what I believe in. And I don't want to preach. To try and just be better than I was when I was younger, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But as for people, nobody really inspires me. I don't really have heroes and stuff, if that makes sense. There are people that I
You,
admire for what they've done, but then they come back years later and you think, oh no, they were horrible, and then you go, oh dear, you know. So
I thought you were meant to say Scott. Scott and Wonder. He inspires you.
oh no, I
Thought we
enjoy
entertained.
Scotland. They entertain me, and I enjoy my chats with Scott with WhatsApp and stuff. But no, I wouldn't say
You haven't
Scotland.
figured out the block button for Scott on WhatsApp. Yeah, that's usually the first place you go with Scott.
No, I don't mind. No, I can't mention that other person, can I? But I don't mind if people want to be in my ear at 7 in the morning, 10 in the morning, midday, at 5 o'clock. I'm fine with that because after at 10 o'clock I go to bed normally anyway, so I won't hear it after then. So no, but I do
uh,
enjoy Scott and Wonder's channel. Mark
what
inspires
makes
me
you
to be
laugh?
a better beer reviewer. Thank you, Scott. I can see. I know. Just answering that question by Scott or that comment by Scott. That's the
Yeah.
running joke, isn't it? Yeah. It always reminds me of that. Um, yeah. So what makes me
Think I had a
laugh?
second part to this.
Comments like that from Scott make me laugh. Um, some people on YouTube make me laugh. Surreal humor. I'm a big fan of surreal humor. So Paul Merton. Um, I enjoyed Monty Python, some of it back in the day. Peter Cook, Dudley Moore. You won't know any of these people because you're too young.
Well, Monty
Um,
Python, I know, but
yeah, Monty Python, even though even I wasn't born when they started. But Peter Cook, Dudley Moore, their surreal humour. Um, say, have I got news for you? Stuff like that. That makes me laugh. Good comedy programs make me laugh. Some YouTubers make me laugh. So I don't do a lot of laughing, I must admit, but I do enjoy a laugh.
okay. Do you have any bad habits?
Oh yes, I do. Um, I comment too much on stuff. I've tried to cut it down. So I don't know when to keep my mouth shut sometimes. I always have to try and have the last word, which is never great. Yeah, lots of bad
Yeah.
habits. That's why I'm not on much social media, because I've just driven myself crazy with it. So the only social media I have is YouTube and WhatsApp. Other than that, I don't have any social. I don't have any Twitter. I don't have any Facebook. I've never had a TikTok. I've never even watched a TikTok video, let alone
Well,
had one.
Mark, you surprised me. I thought you'd be like the top TikToker out there. You'd be dancing your way
I couldn't
when
tell you
Miley
what a tick.
starts. Not
I know what a Tic Tac is, but I don't know what a TikTok is really. You know. So yeah,
yeah.
Scottish man
Seemingly,
used to
I
run a
think that
marathon.
did Scott run a marathon sometime from Scott Wonder.
Apparently he did. Yeah, apparently he's never mentioned it. He doesn't like to talk about it, but
No,
he ran a marathon. I don't know if he ran to the shops to buy a marathon or he actually ran a
probably more
marathon.
like it.
I ran to the shops. I ran to the garage once to buy a marathon. That's a true story. I actually did at 2 in the morning to buy a marathon bar.
And then they changed it to Snickers for
They
some
did,
reason.
but I still call them marathon bars. I annoy shopkeepers. Um, well, I don't because you just pick it up and pay for it now. But in the days when you used to ask for them, I used to say, "You got any marathon bars?" I refuse to call it by that name. American
Yeah.
trainers.
Yeah, because the machines at the shop now will probably say item removed from the bagging area or don't listen to you.
Yeah, you just scan it now and plonk it in your bag, don't you? Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Most treasured memory.
Getting engaged.
Okay. Uh, worst memory.
Too sad to mention.
Okay. Next question.
Sorry. It's just I don't want to bring this
No.
interview down to a. I
Well,
think
if you don't want to
men,
talk about it, it's grand.
I lost
Uh,
somebody close. I lost somebody close to me, so we leave it on that. Okay.
okay.
So
Are you religious?
yes and no, as in I do believe that there's something out there, but I'm not quite sure what it is. So is the word agnostic or something where you believe you if you see it and you hope that it's true? I'm sorry, I don't know. I always get the words agnostic and then there's another one. So I hope there is something after. I really do. But with what's gone on in my life, I wonder sometimes if the man upstairs is being nice. But I don't know. So I don't go to church, put it that way. But I do believe that there is something there.
Okay.
Is that okay? I used to go out with an Irish girl. She was very religious, so I had to pretend I was Catholic for her mum.
That was a long relationship then.
About 3 years.
All right. Would you like to friend your Catholic? I thought it was only lasted a month.
No, she was from Sligo. She lived in the UK, but she was from Sligo.
All right. Um, drugs.
What
There we
about them?
go.
What about
I
them?
don't know drugs. I just say that. What do you think?
All right. Okay, I have to be very honest with the drugs. If you're talking alcohol, no problem with it. If you're talking coffee, no problem with it. Cigarettes, I have no problem with people who want to smoke. I've never smoked. But if you're talking about any other drugs, and I know the sort of drugs you're really talking about, no, I don't. I'm totally against them. I've never done them, and this is the sad bit. I lost my brother to drugs,
Okay.
so for that reason alone. But this was years. This was only recently. I lost him about 4 years ago. But But even before he got hooked on drugs, I was never a drugs person. But having seen what it did to him, no, I'm anti-drugs. Just let the train go past, so you won't hear me. So
Okay.
trying to keep it light and upbeat, but just because of personal circumstances, so no. Just say no,
So
as the great and chill kids said, while they were all smoking God knows what.
so
Again,
if
you're of a certain age.
So if there was a referendum, say tomorrow morning, to legalize drugs by the government for recreation, or we say for helping people,
Rec-
we say they have to
rec-
have a medical reason to go to the
oh,
government
okay.
shop to
Like they
get
have in America.
cannabis.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
there is
well,
in
we'll say a
America.
little
Yeah.
bit more regulated. That you have to
Yeah.
go to a proper doctor, and
Okay. Well, that's a different one because I do get that it has been proven scientifically that cannabis does help certain illnesses and stuff. So who am I, just because I've seen what happened to my brother, tell that person they can't have that? So if it's for medical reasons and it's not abused, then yeah, I've got no problem with that. But if
what
you're
about
talking,
drugs for recreational use?
you mean
You can
like
go down to your
using,
local government, go down to your local government shop for
yeah,
drugs and get your line of cocaine, your hit of heroin,
or
your
your ecstasy,
ecstasy, whatever you want to get.
yeah, okay,
What
no,
about,
no, because what's the difference between going to your local government shop than going to the dodgy man in the corner? You
well,
charge you more probably, but it's the same thing happens, doesn't it? You still take the drugs, you still become addicted, and you could still end up being dead.
I think Scott has said a little white lie.
Yeah, see the
Never touch
comments.
drugs.
I've never touched drugs. No, I believe Scott actually. I actually do believe because I think you're either in one camp or another. I think you either were tempted and you did it, like my brother was, and I knew a lot of people. One of my best friends, he used to take all kinds of drugs, and he was a decent guy, had a good job, and he's still alive to this day. We're not friends anymore, but that's for a different reason. But he took drugs, and it never really did him any harm. But me personally, it never interested me. Even before my brother
Yeah,
got hooked, it never interested me. But I no, I don't think you should legalize drugs for recreational use. I know people say drinking is more harmful than cannabis, and there is an argument to that. So maybe you could legalize cannabis for recreational, which I think the Labour government did for a while, classed it as a Class C drug. So you could maybe go down that road, but anything over than cannabis, no. So if you're talking ecstasy, heroin, cocaine, and any other new ones that I wouldn't know because I'm too old, no.
okay. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what way. I'd probably have
What would you
legalization of
do?
cannabis.
What would you do? Would you legalize it?
Cannabis, yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I live in the country area. I was in town today. I could smell it. Uh,
Oh,
you could,
Glasgow's the same. It's
yeah.
everywhere in Glasgow. I could, yeah.
So it's everywhere. I'm worried about what's in it at the moment.
Oh,
It's getting
right. So
higher and
yeah,
higher.
yeah. I see what you mean, and because it's cut badly and stuff, and yeah. So
Well,
no,
they're adding certain things to it. They're adding things to it to get that high to it. It's more intense because people are becoming immune to it, and it's
yeah.
grown
One,
in whatever lofts or whatever. Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm not sure about some psychedelics. If they're done the right way, can be
It's
good
good
for
for
people. I think.
it's good for music. A lot of great music was written with psychedelic drugs, wasn't it?
Well, no, if you look into it, because if you look into psychedelics, there has been case studies where, especially people with severe depression, suicidal, um,
Yeah. No, no, no.
psychedelics can help them
Yeah.
if it's
Mm,
done in the now. I mean, done in the right way.
yeah. Well,
You
that goes back to
may take
being medic. That goes back to medical stuff, though, rather than recreational, though, doesn't it? So,
yeah, and it goes back to maybe kind of more Middle Eastern kind of
mm,
China, Japan, some of them areas who would have psychedelics Now they're
I
probably
think
called more herbal medicines or what in their earlier time, but it is a psychedelic.
when I was mid 90s was or late, yeah, early 90s, mid 90s, it was all the rave scene and everything, and you had what's that guy, Firestarter and all them, and Ease a Good and all those music. So the drugs were everywhere, and dance scene was huge, and nearly everyone who went there was either drinking water and doing drugs. And I'd imagine the majority of those people are fine, but as I say, it only takes 1 in 100. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
It's
if
I've
you
got
do
an
ecstasy,
old-fashioned, definitely boring
if you
answer.
do ecstasy, you definitely need to be drinking more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
if you're of a certain age, you remember a girl called Leah Betts who died of ecstasy overdose, and she was like 18. And that was a huge thing, and I think that's what turned the tide for a lot of people and stuff. So, but
let's see. We have the amazing Jack Howard timing in. I haven't seen him.
yes,
Thanks, Dan,
he's
for
the
joining us.
he's the guy who
Um,
went clay pigeon shooting with BVM, didn't he?
yeah. Or
He,
from time to time, he will pop in Steve's stream, Stuntman Steve's
yeah,
stream, and he will call everyone ball bags if you're lucky.
he's got more
Uh,
subscribers than me, and he's only made one video.
yeah. Uh, so
I don't know
yeah.
what that says about me, but there you go.
So first crush when you're back
Celebrity.
in no first crush
Oh,
as in someone that your next door neighbor, whoever it was.
oh. Well, no. That question I do know. I was into. You wouldn't tell by my physique now, but I was a very sporty person when I was younger. So I didn't have a lot of time for girls until I was 15. I was all in my sport. So my first
Yeah.
crush was a girl at school. Um, I can mention her name because she won't be watching this. Was a girl called Lisa Lawton. She was my first crush, and I did actually go out with her for a little while. Plucked up the
That's good.
courage to ask her out. Didn't last very long, as they don't in school, and stuff. And then I contacted her years later on Friends. What was that? Friends or whatever it was website that doesn't exist anymore. And then I was Facebook friends with her for a little while, but when I quit that, I lost contact again. But yeah, Lisa, she was my first crush.
Celebrity crush then.
Oh, that would have probably been Altered Images, Claire Grogan. Probably, yeah, Claire Grogan from Altered Images, probably about 81, 82. And then the
Okay.
woman from Doctor Who, whose name
Okay.
I can't remember. But yeah, you don't know who Altered Images are, do you, Thomas?
No.
No,
No idea.
uh, no.
Doctor Who. I know there's a TV program called Doctor Who, and there's a phone box in it, and that's about it.
Yeah, there is. But the Doctor Who I'm talking about was before the modern one today.
So you
Nicola
need to. It's
Bryant.
better.
Nicola Bryant. She played a character called Perry back in Peter Davison's Doctor Who. Now, if Scott's still watching, he might vaguely remember because he's a little bit younger than me, well, 5 or 6 years younger than me. But if your audience is in their 30s, they will have no idea what I'm talking about. Paul
You see the
T will
call
know.
from Paul T.
Yeah, yeah. Hang on, let's read it. I come from Cocaine City, Windsor. It sure is Windsor. Yeah, Berkshire, very posh. I didn't know you lived in Berkshire. Had this one, but either way, I don't think much of it should be legal apart from cannabis. Yeah, so me and Paul generally think the same. I never knew you lived Windsor, Berkshire way. I
Yeah,
like
that's
Paul
where he
T.
come. Yeah,
I like his channel.
yeah, really good channel as well.
Yeah, I
Especially
only
on the
found them
beer
a couple of
machines.
months. Yeah, I only found them a couple of months ago. They went to Munich, him and his wife Michelle. And because I told you about my Oktoberfest trips, I love Munich. And they were blogging all around Munich and they were going here, and it was great. So I subscribed straight away. I've been watching him ever since. He's a very down to
Yeah,
earth.
some really good
They seem
lives
to
as
be,
well.
yeah, they do, and they're very down to earth. And I pop into their lives for a little bit, and then I come out again and stuff. No, so I'm glad he's watching. All right, Paul.
All right, Paul. Thanks for joining the comment. Ghosts.
Yes, you asking me if I believe in them?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I do. Yes, I believe in
So
ghosts.
what are they? Simple
Well, I
question.
think I think they're dead people, people's souls and spirits that live on, which is
Okay.
yeah. So I think someone who's passed away, whose spirit might be attached to that area or stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but yeah, I believe in ghosts.
So why don't we see ghosts all the time then? There's five,
Yeah,
was it 5 or 6 billion people? There's people dying the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah. Well, like I say, I don't know the answers to all of that. That's a good question. Yeah. But how do you know you don't see them all the time? How do you know people don't see them every day? They just don't. We don't know everybody, do we? Do you believe in them, Thomas?
Yeah, of course. Let's go yes.
Okay, yes, go, yes, okay. I can't say I've had many conversations with ghosts, but I felt like I've been in the room with a ghost or two over my life.
So
You go to the
no
local
encounters then.
Weatherspoons. No, not unless you count the local Weatherspoons when you walk in there, and some of the people look like they've been ghosts for years. Um, but no, I felt like there's been some in the room, but I can't honestly put my hand on my heart and say I've actually seen a ghost. But
Okay.
I've had things fall down and things just unexpectedly happen and stuff like that. So,
What's on your bucket list then? We'll move on from ghosts,
yeah, no
in case
worries.
something jumps out in front of us.
Hmm.
What's on your bucket list?
Well, things to do before I become a ghost.
Yeah.
Um, to go to Australia. I want to go
Okay.
to Australia. I nearly went when I was 18 on a working holiday, but I didn't. Otherwise, my life would be completely different. To lose weight again, and
Okay.
I don't know. Other than that, just to that's it. Nottingham Forest to get back in the Premiership was one of them, and they did. So I'm happy with that.
Also,
But
you're Nottingham a fan then, are you?
yeah, I've got something in common with Raggy on that. Me and Raggy, yeah, Nottingham Forest. Even though I'm a Londoner, I'm a Nottingham Forest fan. But yeah, to go to
And did it,
Australia and lose some weight.
so would Nottingham then we'll go move on to it a bit. Did you live around that area that you support them, or how did you come to support
No,
them?
what happened was my uncle took me to watch Nottingham Forest play Chelsea. I think it was 1976. Well, I think it was 76. Yeah, it was about six. I was about 76 at Stamford Bridge. And so it had one in two chance. Which one do you pick? So me, probably even then being a little bit different, went with Nottingham Forest. And they were rubbish back then. They were in Division 2, as it was known. And
Yeah,
they were rubbish. But I was very lucky. Within 3 years of me supporting them, they became European champions. So there you go. That was
it
lucky,
was
wasn't
all
it?
down to you, Mark.
It
You
was all
broke the
down to
ball.
me, yeah. I was the only kid in London who supported Nottingham Forest in my school. But there was a lot of Liverpool fans because they were a big club back then. So I had
Yeah,
bragging rights with Liverpool fans. Most of my friends were Chelsea and Tottenham and Arsenal or West Ham. But yeah, Nottingham Forest. Never. I don't have two teams. I don't believe in this two team. You can have two teams. No, you can't. You have one team and you stick with them till you drop down dead.
yeah. Oh, well,
You
at
could
least
you
if
can
you
live in a
support a team in
town.
your local area,
Yeah, you
like
can do
if
that.
you're from
Yeah,
London and you're near to
yeah,
Arsenal
yeah.
or whoever Chelsea or whoever it is,
You can live in a town and say, "Well, I'm from here, so I support them, but I also follow my local team because I'm there." But
yeah.
you can't really say you got two teams.
No.
I can't
Uh,
stand that
what's
when
your
kids
greatest
say,
strength? What's your
"Oh,
greatest strength?
I'm a good organizer. I'm a really good organizer. I'm quite an organized person, so that would probably be my greatest strength. I've got good memory, um, so I'm good at organising things and good memory, so I don't forget things.
Uh, Greatest weakness.
No patience, no
You must be
patience
fun to work
whatsoever.
with. You must be fun to
Well,
work with.
no, I wasn't. I was. I was when I worked in a small team, but when I worked in a big office, no, I was a nightmare. I was.
I'm only joking, by the way.
No, no, I don't. I'll be honest. I wasn't probably the nicest person to work with. I never used to suffer fools gladly. So if people didn't get things straight away, I'd be like, oh, bugger off, and I'll do it myself.
Oh God, you would not like to work with me. Then. I do not get things easily.
But luckily, I don't have to worry about that now.
Let's see. Oh, it's much work. Yeah, favorite job you had? Was it Fucky's office?
Do you know what? I'd probably have to say yes. The golden age, yeah, there was a great team. I was manager of a shop. We had a great little staff, but also the area, and it was a great time to work in a bookmakers, and just the camaraderie between all the staff in the various shops. We had some great nights out when we used to all meet up and stuff. So yeah, I would say that was probably my favourite job.
Dream job.
Dream job. To get paid to travel.
Okay. Yeah, I think
like
that's good.
like a Mark Weens or Food Ranger type guy. You know, the guys who go around eating and traveling around the
Yeah.
world. If you don't know who Mark Weens is, check him out on his YouTube channel. He's brilliant. He doesn't need any subscribers. He's got over 8 million of them. So he makes a good living going around the world eating and seeing places. Couldn't ask for more, really, could you?
Yeah. Well, if you want to help out Mark the Pondering Man, you can go up to the link above and you can subscribe to his channel. Absolutely. What's the last lie you told, other than on this interview?
Other than everything I told you in the interview. Oh, last lie. I don't see. I'm quite an honest person. I know that people say you're lying, but I am quite an honest person. It's probably to like Virgin Media or something. Like when I'm trying to renegotiate a new contract and I'm telling them I'm going to leave if I don't, yeah, because I rang them up the other week and I said, oh, I've been offered this contract by BT, so can you do me a deal? Which was a load of old lies because I can't even get BT. So things like that, I don't mind lying, but with people, I tend not to lie. What's the point? If someone asks me something, if I don't want to tell you, I just say, move next question, or I'd be honest. So, yeah, probably to Virgin Media.
Okay. Last thing you Googled?
Last thing I Googled, apart from you, last thing no, I didn't Google you. You're okay. Last thing I Googled, it would have been today. I just told you I had a great memory, and now I forgot. Last thing I Googled, oh yeah, Legoland Manchester. Today, I'm going to Manchester, but I'm going with my mate and his family, and they got a 5-year-old. And I heard there was a Legoland type place up there, so I Googled it for him. What a boring answer, I know. I know, no porn or nothing like that.
Was out of context. I needed why you were.
I told you, I don't lie. So it was Legoland Manchester.
Yeah. How much money do you have in your bank account right now? You don't have to be.
No,
general account.
Are we talking just like a general debit card account?
Yeah, your general account.
Okay.
Yeah,
now to the exact penny, I can't tell you to the exact penny. I think there's about 3.5 grand in there or something.
Okay.
Give or take £1.
If you're standing in front of your 16-year-old self, what advice would you give her?
Go to Australia.
And would they listen to you, or would they tell you to get lost?
No, at 16, I was going to go to Australia. No, I didn't listen to anyone when I was 16. I told a lot of people to get lost. So, no, I probably wouldn't have listened to myself.
Okay.
I don't listen to myself now.
How would friends describe you in 3 words?
Well, funny you should say that. My best mate, one of the reasons I moved to Glasgow is my best mate lives here. And the one I'm going to Manchester with his family. And he said to me today, I don't know if it's in 3 words, I'm the most negative person he knows. So is that 3
Okay.
words or 4 words?
No, that's only one. That's negative. Negative. I have one word. You have to have 2 more.
A negative person he knows.
Okay.
That's what he said to me today.
Okay.
Hmm.
Who would you want to be stranded on a desert island with? And what 3 items would you bring?
Oh, I definitely have to bring YouTube with me. I get entertained by YouTube, so we can count YouTube as one item.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so
preface. The island is off the west coast of Ireland, and
okay,
it's
so
a
it's a what?
desert. It's not. It's just an island, just in
Right.
case.
Yeah, well, I've got solar powered internet, so that's okay. All right. So I bring my
Okay,
YouTube
so
because I.
you're bringing YouTube and solar powered internet. So that's 2 items.
Oh no, the internet is built into the YouTube. It's well, that's one item. Um, I would bring. Oh, I don't know. 3 items. I bring you some decent beer
Okay.
and one of my caps. I've got so many different caps. I'd have to bring a cap to keep the sun off my head. I've got
Okay.
about
And who
70
you bring with
caps.
you?
Oh, who would I
And
bring with
what's the
me?
one person? Yeah,
Oh, well,
one
anyone,
person. Yeah,
anybody, or even
anyone.
if anyone in the world I can bring with me.
Yeah, anyone in the world you can bring with you, but they have to be living, obviously.
Yeah, have to be living. Okay. Um, that's a good question, Thomas. That's a good one. Oh, who would I bring? So I had someone to talk to of an evening. Uh, dear. See, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you naturally think, oh, I don't know, I'd bring some female company if you're that way persuaded. Um, but, oh, I don't know. Oh, who would I bring? It wouldn't be a politician, I know that for a fact. Um, oh, I don't know. Who would I bring? Somebody who's lived a good life and would be interesting to talk to on this boring desert island when the solar powered internet isn't working and we've run out of the beer I bought. So it'd have to be someone who had a good life and who could tell me lots of stories. So someone who was around in the 60s and who lived through all that, I suppose. I don't know. The guy who became Paul McCartney, what's his name? Billy Shears? If Scott's still watching, here now. I might bring
Yeah.
him along because he'd have a few interesting stories to
So,
bring.
so
Or
Billy
Mick Jagger
Shears
or
then.
Mick Jagger or someone like that. I don't know. Yeah, bring them along because at least they'll be able to keep you entertained all day.
Right, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Sorry you had to go.
Thank you, Scott.
It's
Appreciate
probably
that.
gone by now, but anyhow. Craziest thing you've done in the name of love, other than that stuff with to marry you.
Craziest thing I've done in the name of love.
We can move on if you want. I don't mind.
No, I don't mind. I'm just there's a couple. I'm just trying to think which one was crazier. Got on a plane
We
to
can talk
Canada.
about them all if you want.
I got on a plane to Canada.
Oh, you want tracing someone then?
My girlfriend went back home to live at the time, and I got on a plane to Canada to tell her to come back. If that makes sense.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And she
And
did.
what happened?
She did. She came
Wow,
back.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
What's if you had a warning label? What would it say?
If you had a warning label,
Yeah.
move on, move on. Nothing to see here. Move on. You know.
Okay.
Or don't
Last time
mention the
you,
Welsh. Don't mention the Welsh. No, I'm
easier
only kidding on
question.
that one. I'm actually a quarter Welsh, so you can mention the Welsh if you like. But I don't know. Tread carefully because when you talk to me sometimes, if I'm not in the right frame of mood, I can be a bit funny.
Okay. Last time you cried.
Sad question. Yesterday.
Can I ask why?
All connected with
You
the
say
person
no.
I lost. No, it's all connected with the person I lost years ago. Not my
Okay.
brother. This is somebody else. So I tend to
Okay.
cry a lot.
Oh, I cry every day, so I cry at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I quite do as well. I'm
If
quite an emotional person.
you could invite four people who are dead to a dinner party, who would it be?
Who would they be?
Yeah,
4 people I could invite to a dinner party.
two
Who would
who
they
are
be?
dead.
Who are dead?
Yeah,
Ronald Dahl. Do you know who that is?
yeah,
Very
yeah,
good. Excellent. Um, Lewis Carroll. So you're getting a theme here.
yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. I think he'd be quite
Okay,
interesting to talk to. And somebody from the Roman Empire. Not Caesar, because he was horrible. Um, but one of the generals or emperors of the Roman Empire or something like that. Because I'd really, even though I don't speak Latin, um, it would be interesting because that was a fantastic part of history. So, so you got a couple of authors in there, President of the United States of America and a Roman emperor.
okay. And
Bit
what
of a,
three course meal then? What are the three courses you're going to serve them?
oh well, 3 courses. Okay. You really like starter, main, and dessert.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I like Parma ham and melon for starter. That's quite
yeah.
a thing I
There
have.
you go.
Um, Main course. If you could get the recipe off my nan, who's long passed away, it would be her famous curry. But failing that, it'd be a Sunday lunch.
Okay,
And for dessert, cheesecake, but a New York cheesecake.
okay. Interesting mix.
I'm not sure the
Most famous,
Roman emperor would be too impressed with that menu.
probably not. What do you think the conversation would be like? What would you
What were
talk
those?
about?
What were those
Yeah,
4 people?
yeah.
Well, we'd have to have Doctor Who translator in the room, obviously, for the Roman. So, or the Star Trek one, so we can understand each other. Um, they'd probably ask me about what life is like in 2020, odd, and oh, I would have hundreds and thousands of questions. I mean, what inspired Lewis Carroll, and did he take drugs, and Ronald Dahl, and how did they come up with all those books? And I loved Ronald Dahl books as a kid. And then, of course, Abraham Lincoln, at the turn of American sort of as they are, they are today, and going through all that and the North versus South and the slavery. Oh, I'd be there till I'm dead asking them questions. I wouldn't say much. I would just ask them a question and listen, and then let them talk. And talking about the Roman, and the Roman, what inspired the Romans to leave Italy and conquer most of Europe and Africa and bits. Oh, I'm a
Yeah.
great history buff. I'm a great history buff, so I'd be in my element chatting. And I say I was a drama student when I was younger, so I love my books and things. So that's why I'd have the authors there. So, oh, we would
Yeah, I
never
think it'd
run
be an
out of things.
interesting.
I would be the dullest person there because I haven't really lived an interesting life compared to those guys. So it would be me asking them questions and them saying, "Who's this guy at the table? Who is he?" I'd have to make it up, wouldn't I? I'd have to say I'm some really important person of the 21st century or something. I tell them I invented the internet or something.
Yeah, but then you'd have to explain about electric to the Roman guy. You'd have to explain about computers.
Yeah,
That could be
yeah,
a long, difficult question.
it
Okay,
could.
different question altogether now. Most famous person you've ever met?
Oh, I bet a few. Um, Robert Redford.
Who?
Robert Redford. Who? Who? Thomas, shame on you. Is anybody watching? If anybody can tell Thomas who Robert Redford is, tell him in the comments. You've never heard of Robert Redford? One of the
No.
most famous actors of all time. Have you seen the movie The Sting?
No.
Okay.
No. Probably.
All right. All right. I'll give you somebody that you would know then. Do you know the guy who started EasyJet, Stelios?
Yeah. Yeah.
I met him. I shared um, another one of my ex-girlfriends worked for EasyJet, and I went to one of their company barbecues, and me and him were in the line waiting for burgers, and I was chatting away with him. But I'm still shocked that you don't know who Robert Redford is. I thought I was really going to impress you there. I'll tell you how I met Robert Redford, but it's pointless because you don't know who he is. Um,
Yeah. Well, come on. Tell us. Tell
he
us who
he
how you met him and what way it happened.
he is an A-list Hollywood actor of his time. A-list. We're not talking like B-list, C-list. A-list. One of the most famous. Google him once you've gone. Um, I was walking down the street in London with my mum and sister. I've gone to visit them, and Robert Redford and I think it was his son, were cycling, and they stopped to ask us for directions. Can you believe it? And I only recognised him because he had a baseball cap on. I only reckon my mum didn't recognise him, and my sister wouldn't have had a clue who he was. And I didn't say nothing to him until right near the end. And then I just said, "You're Robert Redford." And he said, "Sometimes." And then he thanked us for the directions, and him and his son cycled off. It literally was like a minute and a half conversation, if that.
Yeah. But usually these interactions with these so-called celebrities and famous people is that just a minute, couple of minutes.
I've had longer with some sort of music people and things, but you asked me for the most famous, and he's probably the most famous person I've ever met. Please
Okay.
Google him later. Google him.
I will. Maybe I do. Maybe I do, but it's not coming to my mind at the
Well,
moment.
it depends if you watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, I tend to watch more kind of TV and crap, kind of
He's getting
popcorn
on a
things.
bit. He's about 80 odd now, so he's getting on a bit now.
Okay, we'll go with the final question. Has to be asked.
Okay, that's gone
If
quick.
you were if you were a superhero, what superpower would you have?
For selfish reasons, I'd probably, if I had one superpower, probably be turn back time. So
Okay.
either I could change time or go back in time or something like that. Not freeze it because you could only freeze the time you're in. So I could, I don't know, press a button or fire a gun or laser out my finger and create a wormhole and go back in time and change a few things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. That's
Um,
for
so
selfish reasons.
well, so most things people do is for selfish reasons. I think it's
I
self
agree. Yeah,
gratification, isn't it?
yeah. I got no
So
interest in flying in the air like Superman.
well, I suppose if you wanted to go to Australia, you could. I don't know how long it'd take you.
Well, Superman about 2 minutes, wouldn't it? I think it take about two. Well, the Earth is flat, isn't it, according to certain people? So he'd just be flying
Yes,
forever,
well,
wouldn't he? He'd be flying forever.
Scott is gone now, so we don't have to spend the Earth is flat.
No.
Got out of chat.
Yeah,
And the royal family are lizards.
apparently
Yeah.
so. Well, some of them are definitely lizards, yeah, in one way or the other.
Um. Ask this everyone at the end of the interview to everyone. You know yourself the best. Is there anything I missed? I covered a lot of topics on your channel.
Okay. I was surprised you didn't ask me why, because when I was known as Mr. Angry, wasn't I, for a while before I changed it to the Pondering Man. So I thought you might have asked me if I'm angry all the time, or why I'm angry, or why I have an opinion on lots of things and stuff. So I don't know. I thought you might have asked me that, but
Well, there we go. Why are you angry all the
oh,
time?
okay. Well, I'm not angry all the time. See, it's a misconception that I'm angry all the time. Um, I have an opinion on everything, and I have a lot of principles. I'm not going to plug the video or channel, but I actually have a video coming out in a couple of weeks about my principles and if they do me harm or not, because they can get in the way of enjoying certain things. So I have a lot of views on stuff just because I have a lot of opinions. I'm a history buff, and I like to see how the world treats us. But angry? No, I'm not angry all the time. That's one of the reasons why I changed my name from Mr. Angry. I'm more sort of Mr. Interested. I'm interested in a lot of stuff. Even
Yeah,
things that don't interest me can suddenly interest me, apart from wrestling
yeah.
and
I
X-Factor.
think your channel is a good idea. I think it has concepts to go brilliant.
Well, I'm surprised I've got 80 subscribers. I think I've got 81 subscribers, or I had 82, but somebody left. Um, just when I get
Yeah,
to
you get that
real,
the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah, but I didn't think I'd get 50 or 40. So to get 80, because it's a niche channel, because I'm not a beer reviewer. I've done the odd beer review. I'm not a food reviewer, even though I've reviewed the odd thing. I don't go out and do lots of places where I review this, even though I'm trying to. I do want to get out and go places and do reviews. We've got Glasgow Real Ale Beer Festival coming up Thursday. I'm hoping to go Thursday and take the phone and do a bit of filming there. So I do want to mix it up a bit. I don't want it all to be me standing over there talking into the phone, telling you something that you may or not be interested in, let the train go by, and why I think this should change or whatever. Because you do need to mix it up a bit. And I've noticed a lot of channels lately have changed a little bit what they're doing and mixed things up a bit. I think people have realised you need to keep it fresh and
Yeah,
change it up a bit. But there are certain things I won't do on YouTube. I won't review fast food and stuff.
yeah,
There's too many people out there doing it already, and I don't particularly enjoy the companies. But I understand why people do review them, because if you have a channel and you review stuff, then you do need to review that. But I don't need to because I'm not. My channel's not a reviewer. I came up with the pondering man because I wanted to get away from being Mr. Angry and just pondering is more of like a thinking about things, just taking a step back and just thinking about things a little bit. BVM does Let's Discuss.
yeah,
Um, so mine's a bit like that, but without all the swearing and stuff. And his videos tend to be a lot longer, but he can afford to do his videos longer because he's got a huge subscriber base. When you only have a small subscriber base, you've got to keep the videos reasonably, otherwise people just
yeah,
get bored. People get bored. So,
yeah. And then
yeah,
it's keeping on point, making a video over half an
yeah,
hour and talking about a topic that you're
yeah.
not repeating yourself.
I've done a couple. I know we're not going to mention them ones, even though they are
Yeah,
my. If you take away the shorts, forget the shorts because they're weird things. They can get 2 views or 7,000. Um, my most popular videos are those 3 videos.
yeah. Because I think I looked at your top video. It was the short video, the ice cream one, was it?
Yeah, can you
Because
believe that? It
as
got nearly 6,800 views. I mean, I didn't know why, so I had to Google, and then I realised the woman is world famous. Her ice cream parlor. I didn't know that when I went there. I just thought it was a nice ice cream place what a lot of people were queuing for. So I thought, why not do a little video short of it? And then I found out later this mega worldwide thing that goes viral. It does. So you see my channel to get if one of my shorts gets 100 views, I'm happy. And
well,
I
I'm
got
happy
six.
if one of my shorts gets 100 views. I'm
Yeah,
definitely happy.
I did a London Bridge
Yeah. So
one.
Brad Evans put up a comment there. You might like to read it.
Okay. I think you're far from angry, Mark. You just discussed topics that some people might think are controversial. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I changed Mr. Angry to Pondering Man. Yeah, I do talk about a lot of stuff that people probably don't talk about. I'm not sure a lot of it is controversial. I think someone like BVM is a lot more controversial than me. Um, I tend to try and stick. I don't like swearing for the sake of swear. I do swear, but I tend not to swear on camera. Um, I tend to try and give a rational opinion and then let people work out for themselves if they think I'm right or wrong. Obviously, I'm famous for those 3 videos. There are various reasons why they were made, um, but if you take them aside, all my other stuff I think is topical at the time it was made. A lot of it's faraway news, isn't it? You know, what's news day in 2 months' time you forget about.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I mean,
Newsday is tomorrow's chip
yeah,
paper. Is that what you say or
yeah.
something?
I bought a video out the other day. I think my first one back as a proper video about money saving tips.
Yeah, I looked at it. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
it hasn't done as well as I was hoping, but most of them were obvious stuff that you can find online. I didn't do a lot of research because I knew them because they're things that I've always believed in myself. But just I thought I'd come back with something slightly different. You know, I think I've got a ponder coming up soon. I can't remember what it's about now. I'm sure I'm having a go at somebody, but it won't be a YouTuber. It'll be a news item. I'm trying to avoid now having a go at people who have YouTube channels because regardless what I think of their YouTube channels, they are their YouTube channels, and we all got our channels. We all do them for different reasons. So I think the best thing is if you don't enjoy someone's YouTube channel, you just don't watch it, do you?
Yeah, that's it. Unless
So
they're
yeah.
intentionally saying stuff about you,
Yes, I've
leave
actually
them
said
alone.
that. Yeah, I've actually said that on my last one. I said unless something really bad happens, I won't be touching that subject ever again.
Okay.
So,
So I'd like to thank you for coming on. I think you're really
ah,
interesting. I
thank
really
you,
enjoyed
Thomas.
this. An hour and a half has just gone flown by.
Oh yeah, it
I'd
is,
like to
isn't it? Yeah.
say thank you to everyone who's joined in the chat. Everyone who's
Yes.
putting. I read all the chat back. I'm sorry I don't read it out. I say this the whole time. I'm sorry I don't read out. There's probably great questions there, but yeah. So thanks, Mark.
No
We'll say goodbye
problem.
to everyone watching, and
Yes.
that's
Thank you
it.
everybody for
We hit the
watching,
red.
and yes, see you all soon. See you,
Bye.
Thomas. I never know how to get out of
And
this.
no, you stay there 1 second. Oh,
Okay.
I've ended.